game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Trevor Scott, and with me, as always, is Ben Slinger.
Hello, hello. I am here. What are we doing, Trevor?
We're gonna play some What Three Words again, because that's just the thing that came out of my mouth.
Sure. Well, that's what improv is all about. That's what we do here. Improvised game designs, this time from a random location in the world that has been translated into a set of 3 random words. We're going to use those prompts to come up with a video game.
Yes, as we worked out last time, it's 9 meters squared.
3 by 3.
3 by 3.
Not 3 meters squared. Trevor, what 3 words?
Bedsides. Perspectival.
What? Okay.
Yeah. Collation.
Perspectival?
Yes.
That's not a word. Bedsides.
Yes.
Okay. The word perspectival gives me a sense of whimsy of like when you like make up words or like portmanteaus or something.
Yeah.
It's like a perspective carnival or something.
Or Percival with perspective.
Yeah, or with wearing spectacles. Percival who wears spectacles. There you go.
Yeah.
Bedside makes me think they're a doctor.
Ooh. I am watching Scrubs at the moment.
Ooh.
And one of the main doctors in that, his name is Perry, but they do sometimes call him Percival.
He doesn't wear spectacles though, I don't think.
He's older. His eyes have degenerated. This
So
is
you
him.
reckon we do a Scrubs?
Very loosely.
Very loosely Scrubs.
Very loosely
thing.
Scrubs. He's you know,
He's the grumpy old.
he's
older
now the
doc.
Kelso. He's now the Kelso.
Okay. The like administrator of the hospital.
Yeah.
All the young doctors are coming in, fucking in the elevators or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bit more Grey's Anatomy than Scrubs, but
Yes.
you know.
Which I didn't realize, but they actually reference on Scrubs.
Oh, really?
Grey's Anatomy, how it's just, you know, it's exactly like what they do, except, you know, more dramatized.
More drama. Well, I mean, maybe we could do it. Maybe we could take some from both of that and sort of think of how we might make a dramatic, comedic hospital game in some way. What would that look like?
And have a bit of a framing device around it being, you know, a doctor talking to a patient at the bedside sort of thing, going
Yeah, that
the
could be
extra
interesting.
mile. And
Because
then
the only hospital type games I can think of are like hospital builders.
Theme hospital.
Yeah. And that's been
Whereas-
done to death.
whereas actually, you know, getting to sort of play and do a little bit of diagnosing and maybe
Yeah, exactly. Like,
it's
you know,
almost like a CSI game, but it's like CSI hospital.
well,
and
yeah, in that I think I think you make it like a third person wandering, you know, so you can have the nice wandering the halls, talking to people that you see, sort of get a little bit of insight into who else works here, who's in your area. But then, yeah, you go into a patient's room and it's like, oh, okay, it's sort of it's a puzzle-ish, hidden, like, follow the steps to discover.
To diagnose. And, yeah. So I think you're a doctor that starts off as an intern.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
or a
sort of
medical
rising the
student.
ranks.
So a medical student who's been, you know, you're being told exactly what to do because you're a medical student. You're learning.
Yeah.
And in fact, your first thing may be on a cadaver. And then,
Right.
you know, you gradually move to move up through the ranks. I think, the idea being that, you know, the doctor's telling this patient about their journey to be the doctor that they became. Like, it doesn't
so
have
you
to be.
frame it like that, and as if this doctor's telling a story about a younger doctor, and you don't reveal right away that
That is
that young doctor
like,
was me
yeah.
37 years ago.
And, you know, it doesn't have to be Scrubs. Like, this
No.
can just be, like,
No, I think we
that's
just
where
use those
that's our
as
jumping off
inspiration.
point. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
it's a collation of all their life stories, basically.
Yeah,
See
sure.
how I brought that word
Yeah,
back
so
in?
if we must bring in all the words.
I like this.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I'm sort of seeing it as jumping, like you do, it's like maybe year 1 and then you jump to, year 6 or whatever, right? Like, or, I don't know how long it takes, but however long it takes to like get to that sort of next stage of seniority and responsibility. So maybe you go a little bit slower to start with, but.
Yeah, so med student to intern is, while you're doing med student, you're still, it's almost like your Hogwarts journey where you're going to classes and they're teaching you all about how to do these things. And
I'm just picturing a med school, but it's all magical.
It's combat.
Like Hogwarts.
It's combat related. Yeah.
Yeah. There's people like disarming each other, dueling with scalpels and things. It's just a reskin of fucking Hogwarts Legacy, and we make it less racist.
And remove all the stuff about the
there's no goblin,
the Goblin War or whatever.
I
don't know. There's something.
First part of the game is this magical med school. No, it can just be. I think you're wherever a med student like first comes into the hospital and is doing rounds and whatever, and like whatever that first level is, and it's essentially your tutorial level as well. Then, right? Like you're getting to know the hospital a bit, you're getting to know some of the characters, you're getting to know the controls for walking around and talking to people, and also how you will be prompted to do different mini games, essentially.
Yeah, and essentially as you're noticing that that spot looks a little bit weird, and the doctor can then give the player a little bit of help into what's going on, but it's also sort of like the lives of the nursing staff and lives of other doctors that you sort of
I think
finding out a little bit about the patients,
very narrative and character driven.
Yeah, not so much in the way of storylets. I think this is more of an actual handcrafted story all the way through. But maybe
you can have some little like side stories of some of the other staff and stuff. Yeah,
the clinic is the storylet stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I love
that's where we spin off the roguelike game mode like Hitman just did. Where now it's just clinic things and they're procedurally generated and you have to like solve as many as you can while rising through the ranks and unlocking new,
like
I don't know, wraps for your scalpels.
But there's something about that
decals
of you've got sort of like the story mode, which you're going through this whole doctor's life sort of thing, and you get to where he's at now, and you realize that this person that he's talking to who's rather a young person has a disease that is incurable, and
you do a bit of the Brendan Fraser episode.
Yeah, and it's a little bit, but it's. I mean, the Brendan Fraser episode is more around he had leukemia. He just didn't get checked out for the last couple of years,
right?
But
I like
in
that
this case.
You've been going through the whole game, kind of getting to know this relationship between the doctor and that patient as well, and then right at the end,
right at the end, and
it's like and you don't even make it explicit. You just like have him pick up the chart at the end, and it's just got like terminal stamped across it in a big red stamp.
I was actually thinking if you actually played through it and you realized, you see like. You hear a cough that, and if you actually look close enough, you can actually see, they've been coughing up blood or something like that. And it's just, if you actually put the medical things together, you could actually diagnose this person, but most of the time you just focused on the story that's actually going on.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder if you could have a thing where it's almost an alternate ending that if you think to do it, or if you've like have been skilled enough and paid attention to the story parts of it, that you actually realize that the patient you've been talking to this whole time has been wrongly diagnosed and it's actually treatable.
I almost don't like the idea of that. I do like the idea of this doctor is literally spending their time making this person as comfortable as possible. And
I mean, I like that too.
There's something about that. It's just nice.
Yes, and I think that's I think that would definitely be the default. I think it's almost a hidden, I don't know, maybe it's a new game plus. option.
No, you play it on if you start the game on the 29th of February. So in a leap year, if you start the game on the 29th of February, and that's what it's got in your what's it called, then you get that ending. Other than that, it's like one day every 4 years that you got a chance of actually getting that ending.
Sure.
Other than that, you don't get it.
Sure.
So I think this is a little bit more like one of the things that Scrubs is known for is being medically accurate.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
It's literally the most medically accurate of those shows, because that's what makes the comedy so much better, is the fact that the medicine is real, but the comedy can be as absurd as you like, as long as the medicine was real. And that was the thing going in, that they, that the real JD, because yes, there is actually a real JD. He was the medical consultant on it and all this sort of stuff, and basically said, I'll only do this if we can, and I'll only let you do this if the medicine is actually as correct.
So we call that guy
can.
He becomes our medical consultant for the game.
Well, it turns out that he's now like the Kelso at his hospital.
I mean, I'm sure that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because he voice a character as an Easter egg.
Zach Braff and Donald Faison are doing Real Friends, Fake Doctors.
Yes.
Their podcast.
Rewatch podcast, yeah. I haven't listened, but
I'm in like episode 8.
Are you listening along as you rewatch?
Well, no, because we're in season 5 or something like that. So, but I'm enjoying it, and we just got to the episode in season 1 where they unfortunately find out that Sam Lloyd in real life, who played Ted, has passed away.
Oh, they okay, that's the episode
they just
where
found
they
out
had
like
found
that morning,
out, right?
Yeah.
So,
right. And I'm like, oh my God, I forgot that he was dead, and I was expecting him to turn up on the podcast.
Yeah. That's sad.
Yeah. But yeah, that actually sounds like a fun game. I
think that'd be cool. Yeah, I think you could. Again, I don't think there haven't really been medical dramas as games much. I'm sure there's some like visual novel sort of things out there.
Yeah.
And this this in a way would be very similar.
Definitely.
But I think just you go the full 3D style.
Yeah, there's something about running through a hospital as you're trying to get like urine analyzed, and you're like running, and if you get tripped over, then it's
sloshing everywhere. Yeah,
get one of those really cool shaders. So it's
we'll just use like the Halo engine, so we'll keep the teabagging in, and you can't put down your scalpel. Unfortunately, you can switch weapons or switch tools. It's just like scalpel, stethoscope,
and the hands in the center of the body.
Yeah,
because it turns out they've got chest hands now. I don't know whether you remember, like
Quake.
No. As in, like, that's something that was that JD actually talks about.
Oh, does he?
He wants to get surgically remove Elliot's hands and have chest hands.
Oh, I see.
So he's got chest hands and like other hands.
I thought you were referring to how like FPS games.
I was, and then I pulled it back into Scrubs because it's a big wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
All right, shit. Give us no. It's my turn.
What 3 words, Ben?
Distracts, graduations, shades.
Shades. Ooh. I mean, shades can be rather distracting.
Well, yeah, so shades could be like sunglasses. It could also be like window shades if you're trying to like get rid of distractions. Less interesting though, I think. So let's go with sunglasses. Is this a wild and wacky, you're the cool kid coming into high school trying to disrupt the big exam, and it's a side-scrolling skateboarding platformer?
I kind of like the idea as that, like this skateboarding shade-wearing student is also the lookout for like people breaking into the school, so they've got to like distract the security guards or something like that.
Yeah, actually, instead of side scroller, I want to see a Tony Hawk style game that's more story based and open world. And I mean, I know there have sort of been similar things, and they like Underground and stuff did different things, but
American Wasteland did like,
but where different. It's like it's almost Bully, like Rockstar's Bully in a way. Did you ever play that?
Yes.
Yeah. But with some strong skateboarding mechanics, like that's your main go-to for solving problems. And you want to break into the principal's office to steal the tests or whatever, and so you grind up the statue in the courtyard, and
you grind up the statue in the courtyard that happens to have like
it's
a nice little lip at the top that you can sort of launch up onto a cable that gets you up close to the the second story of the building, that you can jump down and just then jump through the window after
yeah, exactly. Well, and I think what could be cool actually is if
there's a quarter pipe in the office.
It's like some award that the school won, but for some reason it's like the slippery. It's like it's a picture of like a graph going up because they've like the most profitable school or something. No, what would be cool actually though is sort of mixing parkour and skateboarding stuff really nicely, so you can like go up over the lip of a half pipe, stash your skateboard on your back, grab onto like a pole or something, pull yourself up, jump over there, and then in midair, drop your skateboard back underneath you and ride down something. Just having it be really fluid. Cool.
And being able to, unlike Tony Hawk's Underground 1 and 2, where it felt very wooden when you actually went into the
like when you actually
went into the
it was clunky as hell. Yeah,
what you actually want is you want the people who you want Neversoft to do all the skateboarding stuff, but then you want the people who did Assassin's Creed to like do all the parkouring stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you get them both working together and melding this thing into just this amazing.
You're like jumping from flagpole to flagpole like fucking Ezio or whatever, but then pulling your skateboard out at the end to ride down the pyramid that for some reason is in the middle of this school.
Well, it's in the quad.
Yeah, it's just part of the architecture.
Yeah. This is cool. I really like this, and
I think you've got your colourful cast of characters then too, right? You've got your. You can lean into the tropes a bit. You've got your hard-ass principal who everyone is rebelling against. You've got your different sort of cliques in the schoolyard. We don't have to play into the bullying aspect of that and isolating stuff, but just the different interests and the different types of people.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
That could give you some cool levels to play as well. You go into down on the oval or whatever, and you're doing more parkour based stuff, while the stoners smoke up, versus going inside to the AV room, which for whatever reason is also a massive half pipe, but with video cameras everywhere and stuff, and you're like getting shots of yourself doing tricks.
Yeah, I love it. I really do.
Cool. Love it. Hey, Trevor. What 3 words?
Predetermined measurable probabilities.
Ooh. That's very sort of relevant to each other.
I know. It's like it's a sentence. Like
predetermined measurable probabilities. Like precog or time travel-y sort of thing.
I'm thinking Minority Report crossed with like less that sort of
tone.
Yeah, and that sort of technology level.
Yeah.
I like current technology level but precog,
Okay.
being introduced, sort of like maybe early days Minority Report, like.
Yeah, I like the idea of a homebrew precog of sorts, where you have discovered that your friend, you know, under certain conditions can see visions of the future, and to record them, you've got them hooked up via like USB to multiple, you know, you've got an array of iPhone 11s or whatever, because that's the best process, because you need the LiDAR in there or something to measure, you know, their face micro expressions, because somehow that translates into, you know, like just that very homebrewish, but with current technology. Like I feel like you've seen that a lot with 80s technology, or going further back with like 50s technology, where it's sort of this cobbled together kind of thing. But I feel like you don't see it a lot with modern technology. They've got like Raspberry Pis and just cables, you know, going everywhere, USB-C cables, because we live in the 2020s.
Yep. Okay. I like it, but hold on to that thought.
Okay.
An AI, like a ChatGPT, that is being trained on like a whole heap of video footage of people doing crimes.
Okay.
And it can now use footage and find markers saying that
someone
this
is
person
looking suspicious and like, you know, has just bought a hammer, and it's like, it's worked out that, oh, this person like is looking a little bit sketch. There's a 88% probability that they're going to murder someone with a hammer. And so the police can then go off and, you know, it's somewhat in the zeitgeist because of ChatGPT and that sort of stuff, but it's more. All right. Can we combine these then? Do you play an engineer who has either developed or is working on this technology?
Mm-hmm.
It was proven out well enough that it's like taken out. Like police departments are using it across the fucking world to, arrest people for crimes that they
have not yet committed.
They haven't committed, but the AI has decided, yes, they are going to commit. But as you start looking into it, you realize that this AI is wrong, like a lot. And a lot of innocent people are going.
You accidentally went greater than instead of less than.
No, well, where I was going to go, how I was going to combine these, was you realize that there just wasn't, like, there's not enough computing power and not enough, like, the AI is just not smart enough. And so you
it had
decide
one
you need to
too
fix
few iPhone 11s, didn't it? It needed one more iPhone 11.
No, I was thinking that it needs a human brain.
Okay, yeah.
And you hook yourself into it. Because you
become the lawnmower man.
Yeah, sort of. You essentially feel like you are
in a virtual world.
You feel like you're responsible for all these people getting arrested, and you can't. It's too late now to like bring it back. Like it's in use everywhere, and so you're like, okay, I have to make it work better.
Just need to correct it just slightly.
Yeah.
There's something about like, you know, all these new technologies and all that sort of stuff. Like I can imagine that one day someone's going to come up with the idea that they're going to have a look at all these different bits of footage.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm sure they're probably already running like live CCTV through AI things to sort of detect behavior patterns and stuff. Absolutely.
And then, you know, if just say this AI got enough to actually match, okay, we've got a 98% probability that this person here then left from this hardware store and went and killed his wife. Okay, so now these are the markers that I can potentially use to choose. And it's like, thing is, this AI can also tell you that, you know, with you know, some sort of measurable predetermined probability that this person here is, you know, 75% likely to go to Macca's next and then go up to this and basically map out someone's entire day as to where they're going next.
Based on this probability cloud, essentially, that as more and more markers come in, it gets clearer.
And especially if it starts, it's basically looking at everyone all the time, and it's got unlimited sort of cloud data that it can actually start to go, oh, he's changed, what he's doing each day. And now,
right. Depending on what it can be trained on and over time. Yes, absolutely. That it's not only detecting patterns based on just that instance of seeing that person. It's like the history of them over time as well. Yeah.
Because really, we shouldn't have added that extra iPhone 11 in, because now it has LiDAR sensors and it can actually detect like when faces are close.
Yeah, that was actually the problem. Was the iPhone 11 should have stuck with Android, which for some reason never implement. I don't know.
Never implemented.
Apple must have a fucking patent on the LiDAR technology or something. Because
I think they actually do.
Yeah, I suspect so.
Because they were originally using the LiDAR on the front camera to do the facial recognition, which makes a lot of sense.
But the end result is that I can't use the teenager filter on TikTok, and it's annoying. Anyway, what 3 words? No, it's my turn.
It's yours. Hang on, let's see if I can work this out.
Okay, based on my micro expressions.
Dozer railing trousers.
Fuck off! You looked at your bot. Thought you were actually going to guess. Yes, Dozer railing trousers. Now this feels like a comedy game. And because a bulldozer gone through a railing, and someone is like hanging off by their trousers over the edge of the railing. That's a scene.
I just literally had a thought of a bulldozer going down a half pipe and doing tricks and shit.
Yeah, it's the railing is because it's grinding.
If you happen to, crash, then, the guy gets launched out and, his trousers sort of.
Maybe this is just a very, a physics playground game in a bulldozer where you're doing tricks. Bulldozer tricks.
I kind of want to see what happens if I take out that wall of that house. Like, does it come down? How much wall can I take out before it actually comes down?
Yeah, and will I die if I hit that wall the wrong way and then tip my bulldozer and ragdoll myself out of the
ragdoll yourself into the wall, and then the bulldozer comes and crushes.
Yeah, I mean there have been a lot of those sorts of games though, and those sorts of little physics playgrounds. Is there anything we can do with that and add to it? No.
I was thinking.
I know, you had your thinking face on, I could see. It's very similar to your shitting face, though, so I thought maybe you just really needed to take a dump.
Oh, I was doing that too.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad we're not recording in the same room today, then.
Yeah, I'm sitting on a potty right now.
Did we want to do something else with those railing trousers, or should we go again?
Let's go again. Hang on, what's the time?
Probably the last time. We've been going half an hour.
3, 2, 1 movie.
Ooh, switching it up. Are we
switching
we'll
it
each
up?
do one?
Each do one.
And maybe combine or just choose one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Given I have actually seen what yours is, we can combine.
Okay. Well, let's tell the audience what it is first. I don't know what yours is, so tell me what yours is.
No, you go with yours first, and then maybe you can guess.
From all the way back at the start of the millennium, 2000s, Bait, which I have not seen, but it's about someone who is in jail for petty theft, meets a dude in his cell who is like a high-tech thief, and I don't know, stuff happens. It's a crime thing. Is that Jamie Foxx or something? I can't really tell from the low quality poster.
Graphic.
What do you have?
Open water.
Oh,
so I'm like
the crocodile.
Bait, open water. You could combine those quite nicely.
Was it the big crocodile? Oh, it is Jamie Foxx.
2 divers left out at sea without a boat. There's nothing but water for miles, but unless they look at what's underneath them.
Ooh. Was that an Australian film?
I'm not sure.
Okay. So are we just going to take the titles mostly?
Yeah, I like the titles. I think open water and bait actually,
Yeah, of course.
kind of work well together.
What can we do then with a fishing game that's interesting? Are you hunting? I haven't really seen a fishing game where you're hunting like large sea creatures. That could be cool. Harpooning them, getting pulled along as you have to like somehow wear them down or take them down in different ways.
I like the idea of this is on another planet maybe.
Yeah.
It's a massive ocean planet and these things are fucking ginormous.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of like.
Yeah, I'm talking like, fucking megalodon size creatures.
Yeah. And if it's kill or be killed because literally they will,
Yeah.
They're Kraken-like creature, while the thing with, inky black tentacles and, if that grabs hold of your ship, then you're kind of fucked.
So
it's even weirder when its head comes up and it's a big clown face.
This is Pennywise. Is it you as a solo person, or do you have like a crew on a larger ship that you're hunting them with? Because I did like the idea with the crew of you harpoon it and then like you've got your people who just jump off the side onto its back and start like stabbing at it and stuff.
So I think it's a single player game.
Yes.
But yes, you do have a crew.
Yeah.
Because I like the idea of like there's a possibility for them to get, killed
die,
and all this sort of stuff.
I think you definitely have
and then when you come into port, you've got to then use some of your money to hire new crew, or don't go after the big bastards, go after some smaller prey.
Yes, absolutely, Well, and I think because then I like the idea of a bit of a, not quite FTL, but in the way that your people level, like if you can keep them alive long enough, in an XCOM and FTL kind of way, they're going to be stronger and you're going to be able to level them up over time. And so it's going to hit harder if you make a mistake and go after someone that's too big and you lose like your best, harpooner or whatever. Then you're going to be in the shit.
But also there's the chance of you going for something small, but you happen to use the wrong bait. And you've attracted now, the huge megalodon shark.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that idea of you take a risk with the types of bait you use because that it might be that something large or something small could it like that. And you could have maybe things where it's like deterrence, like if you want to pay for something extra, you can target that in a bit better. It's like, oh, well, if I use this bait but use this deterrent, then the big ones aren't going to come near, only this like medium-sized one that I know I can handle. But it costs money, or you might have run out or whatever.
For the size that these things are going to be, I kind of like the idea of using, if you remember from PAX, that dredge game where it's sort of like the behind the view.
That's kind of what I was picturing in a way.
Third-person boat.
Third-person boat
rather
from
than
relatively far up.
Yeah.
Dredge felt like not a huge ship. I feel like, though, this, to get the scale right, this should more be like a
galleon.
Yeah, like a galleon-sized sort of thing with...
But a futuristic galleon.
Yeah. I think we go...
With technology and laser beams and shit.
Yeah. Something like that.
I mean, you're on a different planet, so you've got the technology to get to a different planet.
Yeah. I think you've got a variety of things, but I think you want to keep some of the old school style of things. So I think you're still kind of harpooning and grappling them and stuff. But
you can also potentially use a tractor beam once. You can use a tractor beam to sort of keep them in place, to slow them down as they enter through these things. Yeah. They're too big to actually stop, but then you can stop them just for a little bit just to hit that harpoon into the soft underbelly.
Oh, and you know what I love the idea of? You can you definitely take trophies from each thing that you kill.
Oh yeah.
But I think you can also like wound them and maybe like take a fin or something, right? But they get away, and then that you might come across.
They become your best friend because we're going to use the best friend system.
The best friend system. They become your anti-best friend. Yeah.
Yes.
No, I'm not necessarily saying full-on nemesis system.
No, we're not allowed to say that. It's the best friend system.
Or it could be, I only said
the anti-best friend.
Yeah, I only said it because we're not using it.
Okay, yeah.
But yes, in a sense, just that idea of you could run into that creature again. And next time it's going to be stronger because now it's fucking...
It's now more resilient.
It's more resilient. It's healed up. It's now a nasty old fucking sea creature that's going to come back and
fuck you
against
up.
you, especially. It's holding a grudge.
But also, like, if you come across like one of these baby...
Ooh, yeah.
You come across a baby like megalodon and you sort of nurture it a little bit. As in,
you're saying you can actually bring them on your side?
Well, no. You nurture it as in you're like trying to make it grow bigger and you're like protecting it from other ones so that when it becomes big, like it's
friendly to you? Or easier to kill?
Easier to kill, right, sort of thing. Like effectively you're killing all its other prey.
Right.
So it doesn't really have to battle. It's not a survival of the fittest.
I do like the idea of also having a bit of an ecosystem in there, actually, where, if you take out certain
predators and
or even if you take out certain prey, like if you've taken out, all of the, the medium-sized sort of, whale lions in this area, then the larger ones that feed on them are going to come to shore more often because they're hungry and they're going to look further afield for things like that. You are affecting that in some way, and have some way of measuring that. That's really cool. This is great. I like this a lot, actually. It's
got a lot of things going for it. I think there is land on this sort of thing.
I don't think it's kind of like ocean world.
But kind of like Sea of Thieves, where it's just small islands
and stuff.
And little outposts here and there. Because I like the idea of, getting to meet the different people in the outposts and that sort of stuff. But it's
or it
more
could just be
around...
that, like, it's still... A lot of it is undiscovered. And so it's only on the coasts where there are settlements and things. And on the interior, you hear them talk about just the wild forests of the interior that nobody ventures into. And the reason that I say that is the sequel is you hunting all the creatures in the forests.
Monster Hunter World style.
Yeah, exactly. But again, but now you've got like big wheeled like machines
boats
going. Well,
land boats.
Land boats, exactly. No, you've got like a caravan going through the wasteland or through the forest or whatever, and that's where all your crew is on. But then the gameplay's basically the same.
Yeah,
just new creatures, new things to do.
Yeah,
that's great. Ooh. We've just made a series.
Yeah, but I can see so many like things that you could do with this, and it's almost kind of like a casual game with. You're going out on hunt and all this sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah. I think
you're pulling in
almost,
different treasure and loot and stuff like that.
A roguelike-ish in a way.
Yeah. But you can also pick
story elements that you can, that you discover, but it's not a narrative move from this point to this point. Not even as much as Dredge, I think, from what we played of it. Like, that is roguelike-ish itself. You're going sort of out on runs and coming back and bringing stuff in and upgrading and whatever, but there's definitely story beats to it. Whereas, I think this is more, you discover story elements in the world.
You cut open one of these big things and, a skeleton and a bottle falls out. Yeah. And the bottle is like a note.
And that might point you somewhere to like a coordinate or something where you find a special creature or something else,
And it's, oh my God, like, there's something about, you're almost playing the ship rather than a person.
Yes.
So it doesn't even matter if the crew sort of dies. It's more,
or you're playing the captain essentially, and you don't.
I like the idea of you're playing the ship, but it's kind of a ship of Theseus sort sort of thing of by the time you get to the end, you repaired it so many times.
Yeah, and the crew's
Is this still the
changed so
same
much.
ship?
And
And
like,
the crew has changed. Like,
I guess
as long
so.
as something of the ship remains, and that sort of enables you. It doesn't really matter how long. You know, it gives you the reason as to why, like, you're going out on a different run. It's like, it doesn't matter that it's a different ship because something of that original ship has been
actually, that
transferred
could be cool
onto
with
this.
the crew as well, because I think you have a captain and they have a name and they have skills or whatever.
And they have
but
skills,
They can
but-
die, and it's their, like, first mate who then, you know, gets promoted up to captain, and
it's...
you keep going through that way. And because then you've got a real history to that ship.
Yep.
Actually, I like that a lot, because then you've got the legend of that particular ship as well.
The legend of the captain
as it
and
grows.
the runs that you used to do when, you know, he was the captain, therefore you were the most feared sort of ship on the 13 seas.
But I think as long as you can kind of keep up with that, it's the legend of that ship grows as well, and you hear people talking about it on shore, and yeah, and
then, you know, you can start up a new run and
and you get a new ship name and start fresh,
but some of the old stuff remains. Like,
that's cool. You still have people talking about that old ship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you can start up a new run and it, you know, with a fresh crew, or you can continue a run
I love
with that
the
old
idea
ship.
that you could, like, find one of your old crew members who you thought died, but they were just swallowed by one of the giant whale creatures, and they've been living in it for the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Oh,
I hesitate to bring it up again, but I mean, storylets would work well.
Yes, they
in this sort of thing. Or I mean,
they would, but
and we talk about storylets a lot, but it's more just expandable events, basically, right?
Yeah.
Like that can build off of things that have happened beforehand.
Just the idea of each time, like, if your ship gets fully destroyed, that ship is now just a legend, and when you do the next run, you can no longer choose that ship
name.
anymore. That name for that ship anymore, or anything like that. And you don't get many of the crew. Maybe, you know, you eventually find someone who used to be on that crew, or like, and then you can bring them back into this
desert island or something like.
Yeah, exactly. Or you find the harpoon from that ship. Yeah. And all of a sudden it's kind of like a
legendary item, basically. Then
a legendary item. You can now take some of that onto this. Like, if you kill the thing that actually killed that ship, you get, you know, a guaranteed legendary item that was from that ship.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's fucking harpoon is stuck in its belly or whatever, it's just healed over it.
But I'm talking also, like, the sail got stuck between its teeth or something like that.
Yeah.
You now have this extra legendary item that you've got access to.
Great. Oh yeah, this is one of those that I'm like, why does this not exist? Like, that's just fucking cool.
It's one of the coolest roguelike games, and it's right for, like, you know, within the game lore, like, restarting runs make sense because it's just
like the best
next
sort
run
of
in the world.
Roguelike,
like, oh my god,
damn it,
so good.
This one's going on my list for things I will eventually never build, but would like to.
I would like to see how it would actually go, and, like,
the thing is, for it to be really good, it would take so much work to really make this work well. To make it feel good, that, you know, you and I are a long way off that sort of thing. It's not the sort of thing you just prototype up.
Twin stick harpooning.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like
I can see that working.
The ship gameplay, it could be that.
But what I'm saying is that it's also, it takes a while to actually, you know, you select a location and it's got to kind of turn the ship very slowly.
Honestly, I feel like it could almost work as not quite real-time strategy, but it's actually that you're, like, giving commands. You're trying to bring it alongside, and then you're saying, all right, man, like, jump over with your swords or whatever, or your fucking lightsabers, or harpoon it so that we can stay close to it, or, you know, use this particular weapon. And maybe it's one of these things where, like, almost even a mech warrior-ish thing where it's like, oh, my, you know, left side lasers are still charging, waiting for that to be able to fire again as you, like, wear it down, and you're losing man, and
you use the impulse drive to flip the ship 180 degrees so that you can
so you can, you know, use your other side weapons or something.
Oh my god, like you could do so much with the technology to actually play with these different things, and you know, we can actually have, like, the ship can actually hover for a little bit, like, because you've got the hover engines because you had the money.
But you definitely need, like, if you've gone after something that's a little bit too strong, it's just fucking pulling you through the ocean. Like, you're holding on. It feels like you're holding on for dear life as this thing is yanking you along, and you're just trying to wear it down and take it down.
Here's the cool thing. You build up this ship that is so damn powerful, but you're like, you know what? I don't want to lose the ship. Maybe I'll just use another ship. So you keep it in port. You choose another ship and you send it out there just to sort of find, you know, the thing that you actually want to go up against, and then switch to the big ship.
So you're building a whole fleet now.
Well, you can sort of go, oh, I don't want to lose that ship. Like, it was so close last time. That
but I think that should be the risk, though, right? Like, I think it should be.
Yeah, but you've got the chance to actually, you know, shelter a ship. Like, if that's really, really powerful, and you want a bit of a challenge again, like,
are you saying, like, this is as far as I'm going to take this ship, or you're saying, I just want to build up a new ship?
I want to build up a new ship, so I've got quite a few ships. Like, you can do that.
Yeah,
like,
I guess so. I don't think you.
I like the idea that
you wouldn't want to make it that you could. What's the word? What's the word when you, like, in MMOs or whatever, where you build up one character and then give all the shit to the other one or whatever? Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Well, what I like is
Smurf character or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but you're only going. It's only player versus enemy. There's no.
I know.
Player versus player in this. What could actually be kind of cool with this is if you shelter them for too long, the crew get restless and, like, they may.
You come back and they're all drunks because they've just been hanging out in the bar the whole time.
Or, you know, the first mate may have gone, I don't want to stay here, or, you know, I want to captain my own ship. And so he's gone off to like, other vessels and all that sort of stuff. That adds an
interesting thing to it. I think if there's some risk to sheltering a ship, for sure, like, there's some degradation to it. You have to pay maintenance fees for it. Like, it costs money to do so. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you know, it could still be destroyed in, like, a port attack.
Right.
Like, because the ports can all get attacked. I think there's multiple ports across this whole thing. But anyway, we could talk for hours.
Yeah, this is just about a whole episode by itself. We've gone for
Jesus Christ,
20 minutes over.
50 minutes. Like, fuck. Oh, shit.
This is what happens when we get excited about a game.
There's a big edit.
All right.
Fun.
Well, that's the end of it then. We'll stop it there so Trevor doesn't have too much to edit. Thank you for joining us this week on Bitstorm. If you'd like to find all of our previous episodes online, go to podchaser.com/Bitstorm. Give us a listen, shoot us a review.
And if you like the song that we play at the start and end of each episode, that song is called Mount Defiance, off of the album Containment Failure. If we ever made this game, it would be a great song to like sail along to, and, you know,
definitely,
especially coming, you know, down a wave right as there's like a bicycle sort of. I had to say it.
So thank you again for joining us this week on Bitstorm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott, and there she blows.
And I'm Captain Ahab, from the future.
Yeah, and I'm his first mate. He died. I'm now the captain. I died. My son's now the captain.